It's just like we're talking on the phone or something, okay?
Woo!
So
Okay.
this is what I want you to do. I want you to introduce yourself. Tell us what your name is, what
Okay.
your sobriety date is. Tell us about why you call yourself APTV.
Okay.
And I just want you to start out and share with us what it was like before you got into your addiction, what it was like during your addiction, and what your life is like now. If I have any questions, I'll just kind of go like that.
Okay.
And that, when you see me, and then I'll just ask. So you
Okay.
got the floor, girl. Take it away.
All right. My name is April Renee. I go by Renee, but everybody knows me on all platforms as April or AP. I chose that name. I wanted to commit to something right before I went to treatment. So like a day before I went to 24 hours before I decided to go to treatment, I came up with an idea for a YouTube channel called, because everybody calls me AP, called Addictive Personality TV, because I have such an addictive personality. It was super fitting. It was natural. It came natural. So that's where the name comes from. My clean date is Saturday, September 26th, 2019. I did
Damn.
7-day detox in there where I went to 3 hours away to Hohenwald, Tennessee, where I did a 28-day treatment. It was treatment. It was not recovery. It was treatment. It was rough. It was kind of cool. I'll get to that. But okay. So y'all, this is my second time ever telling my story. So y'all bear with me. I'm gonna try not to be all over the place. But
No, listen to me. You just share. And like, if I have any questions, I'll just ask you. Like, seriously, like, just share from your heart. Don't be worried. Don't be nervous. There's going to be somebody out there that can relate to your story. Okay. Like, probably hundreds of people. Smoke your cigarette, girl. Get comfortable.
I'm ready.
Chill
I'm
out.
ready.
Okay.
Okay. So let's talk about, okay, so I've been clean 15 months. I'm gonna talk about where it all began. My earliest memory as a child, I was probably 3 or 4 years old. I remember my dad was an electrician. My stepfather adopted me when I was 3. I never met my real dad. I remember sticking a key in an electric socket. It's one of my earliest memories. Shocking myself, my parents being like really scared. I also cut my legs up in the bathtub with a razor. And the reason I'm saying that is because that was just the idea of what was going on in my household. I come from a completely dysfunctional household. They weren't watching me, you know what I'm saying? For me to even be able to do something like that tells me a lot about them, just from the beginning, just my earliest memories.
Yeah.
So fast forward. My mom and dad finally got a house. I'm the only child of my mother and father. I mean, of my mama. Like, I never met my dad. My mom and daddy had kids. My mom and my stepdaddy. So I have a sister and 2 stepbrothers. The first house we ever got, it that's where all the bad memories started. I I remember, we had padlocks on our refrigerator. We had padlocks on our cabinets. My mom and them had a triple thick ass chain around the refrigerator with a big ass lock on it. And I would use to my brothers and sisters would be tied up to the bed. And I used to have to like try to break them out and stuff. And I just remember like pulling the refrigerator apart, like sneaking. My mama's room was right in front of the refrigerator, and I would pull the refrigerator and like stick my arm in there to grab pieces of cheese or whatever I could get. And I would like go to school with bruises all the way up my arm, just where I was trying to get my arm in that refrigerator and trying to loosen it up and shit. So that's just the dysfunction that started. And that
Why
house
did
was
they do that? Was it because they didn't want you guys to eat the food because they don't want to have to buy more, or was it because they were trying to be good?
my brothers and sisters, or my brothers, would get up at an early age and like take all the food out of the refrigerator and pour it in the milk floor. Like they take this shit, all the milk, all the flour, and they would pour it out. So my mama always said because they would get into the refrigerator and waste all the food. But I mean, so she would tie them up to the bed because of that, and she would lock our refrigerators and shit up because of that. That was she did. So you know, thereafter, shortly after that, I remember I was being molested by my stepfather. You know, my stepfather adopted me just to molest me. It was really sick and twisted. You know, like he would make me do favors for him, like he would take a shower and like I would never get in a shower with him, but he would be like, if you do like you look at me or you do this for me, you can go here, you can do this, you can do that. So it's
Yeah.
always like a favor for a favor type shit. And that progressed. That happened often. I can't remember like how long. I know I stopped it when like he had me on top of him and tried to go all the way with me. And I was like, hell no. Like I was freaking out or whatever. He was so scared I was gonna tell my mama. So that's the dysfunction I'm telling you, like that I came from. And my mama was, she never told me she loved me. She never hugged me. She always screamed at me. She used to like hit us with books and shit. Like we would go to school with little bruises on our back. She'd throw shit at us. She hated us. And like my brothers and sisters, I had to put them to sleep at like 6 o'clock in the evening. Like I would pat all three of their butts in a row to get them to go to sleep, but they wouldn't want to go to sleep because it's like still daylight outside. Like she did not want to deal with us at all. And in my mama's defense, my mama was overweight and her daddy made her live in a closet. So she had to be in a closet because she was fat or overweight rather. And so that was kind of traumatizing to her. She didn't get the love she was supposed to get either. I mean, I'm not trying to take up for her nothing, but like looking back on it now, I can see where the trauma came from her.
Yeah,
I don't
it just
know my
came down
dad.
the line and she
Yeah,
just repeated what she was
yeah.
taught.
Fact. And she always say her daddy never loved her and stuff, and she always just wanted her daddy to love her. So I feel like that's where my mama's came in. I'm a little more sympathetic there. And then, kind of find out on my daddy's side, like my uncle molested my cousin, like everybody was touching everybody. Like it's just sick like that. Like so
Yeah.
I guess that's where my daddy got it or whatever. So what ended up happening was like, okay, I was about 11, 12 years old. I came home from school. I looked in my top drawer and I had condoms, a pack of cigarettes, a lighter, and some marijuana and a pack of rolling papers. And I was like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? So I go into my mama's room, totally fucking embarrassed. And I was like, who's been in my room? Da da da. She's like, we put that there. You're doing it anyway. You might as well do it with us. So I was buck wild anyway by this time. My daddy let me get away with murder. Mama was making rules. Daddy was breaking them because I was doing favors. That's how, you know what I'm saying? It was weird. And
Yeah.
so I wasn't smoking yet. I wasn't doing half the shit they thought I was doing. But needless to say, long story short, 2 weeks later, our house burnt to the ground. The house I was molested in
How?
burnt to the ground. With the cigarette lighter my mom and daddy bought me to smoke cigarettes with 2 weeks prior. My
Oh,
brother my brother caught our bunk beds on fire. We lived on a street where there was no fire hydrant on our street. My mama, our water pressure would go in and out, and so like when the bed caught on fire, my mama's always had really long hair. We're Cherokee, so her hair is like always down to her ankles. So like she used to wear her hair down a lot, and so like her hair caught on fire. Like she was having us like try to go to the sink and get a bucket and come all the way around. Like it was like a long walk to get to where the fire was. So the house burnt to the ground. We lost everything. And so I always look at it as like my daddy got his karma, like all the bad shit that was happening to us, and the house stopped. Now, my mom and daddy never recovered from that. Um, my mom and daddy, we grew up in mad poverty, you know what I'm saying? And they never recovered it. My brothers, I ended up moving out after that. Like, I was with an older man, like I always been with older men, like my mom and daddy was cool with it, you know what I'm saying? They did drugs with me. My brother and sister lived in a hotel for like 3 years after that, and I was just running the street. Well, in the first year of me running the streets, I was 12, 13 years old. I was at Christie's Cleaners on the track where prostitutes walk, which later in life that used to be where I worked 9 to 5 on the street.
uh-huh.
I was at a payphone, and some pimps pulled up in a Cadillac. They were from Oklahoma City. One of them asked me for a cigarette. I went around to give him a cigarette, and boom, I got thrown in the car. Me and my friend. And I was a down ass bitch. I was down for whatever. I wasn't. She was putting up a little bit of a fight. I was talking shit, but I was like, "What's up?" You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're like, I'm going for a ride.
We're leaving. So we end up. It was a black girl and a white girl, Candy and Lollipop. That's who trained me. That's who turned me out. We were on the road. We were stopping at truck stops. I was scared to death. I mean, I was a child. I never remember being a child though. I always just remember
You were like
being.
12, right?
Yeah, yeah. I was
12
almost
years old.
13. So I got a fake ID before we left the city. Said I was 18. We started traveling. We got to Oklahoma City. We had a hotel right in the middle of Oklahoma City where a truck stop was. So it was my turn. I had to do my first day. I was scared to death. I did what I did, you know what I'm saying? And that was it. After that, it was kind of like it was on and popping. And my friend would only stay for like 3 days. Now, the friend I'm talking about ended up was my baby's my oldest child, my oldest girls. I have a 20 and a 21-year-old, about to be 22 and 21. Um, their dad, it was his girlfriend at the time, and I was with their dad's brother at the time. So she was ready to come back. So when she came back, I was still gone for months. Finally, I was tired one day. I broke bad. I called the police. Or no, I called a shelter. I ended up staying in a shelter for a night. My daddy had to meet me halfway in Arkansas to pick me up. And when I got home from that happening, because I had like runaway signs up and all kinds of shit all over the city, because I was a habitual runaway after that anyway. So I come home, my daddy tells me he's not my daddy. This is when I find out my dad is not my dad. Like after I just went through this whole traumatic stage in a, very short period of time. You know what I'm saying? Just coming into puberty. I've already had this traumatic. Nobody asked me if I was okay. You know what I'm saying? As soon as I came back, I started working for a massage parlor. Like literally where you line up, it's called Miko's Massage Parlor. You line up 10 girls and men come in and pick the girl they want. So I start working for that. My mom and daddy know. My daddy comes in there smoking crack with the girls. Like it was ratchet. It was really off the wall. But yeah, they had told me that was my daddy, so I ran away again, and I was just running the street. It was on and popping from there. I was completely turned out.
But did
So
you think this was normal? Like this was normal to you? Like you didn't know any other way?
I never thought about was it normal or was it not until 15 months ago, really. Like until I had time to get sober. I mean, I knew it wasn't normal, obviously, but to really just, when you get sober, you get your feelings back. That's the great thing. And the fucked up thing is you get your feelings back, right? So I'm just now learning how fucked up it was. Even every time I tell the story, it makes me know how fucked up it was. So yeah, I mean, I definitely knew I came from straight dysfunction. So fast forward, I was sex trafficked because I was a minor. So I was sex trafficked. I was still in the game. I was a solo dolo, as they call it. I fucking hated pimps. I used to talk bad to their asses all the time. I mean, I was head first in the game. I was a full-fledged crackhead at 13. Full-fledged. Mom and daddy was doing dope with me, no problem. Lost our house again. My brothers and sisters wasn't eating. We didn't have lights. I mean, just the same shit. Even though
How
I
did
was
you
in
get introduced to getting high? Did somebody like give it to you one
a
night
tree,
when you were
a
tricking or
tree.
whatever?
Yeah.
Or did
Mhm.
you just like go look for it? And when you
No.
did it for the
Well,
first time, what did you think when you first did it?
okay, so the first time I did, I was with this girl named Peaches. It was when I first started working for a massage parlor because I worked for the little Miko's massage house. It was different, and so I started working for a madam, which is a woman pimp. After I left the massage parlor, because the bitches was hating on me at the massage parlor because I kept getting picked every time because I was young as fuck. You know what I'm saying? So
Right,
all
yeah.
the bitches was picking
That's
me, and it
why, because
was
you were
hate on
young
me.
and they wanted a young
Yes,
girl.
yes, it was fucking sick. It was sick.
Right.
So I mean, it was police and everything coming in there. So I was tired of that shit. You know what I'm saying? I was having a fight every fucking day. I was like, fuck this shit. So I started working for a madam, which I didn't know, but she ended up going to prison for 20 years. She was the evil bitch. She ended up blowing a car up with somebody in it. Like she was psycho. Like I did not realize how dangerous she was. But so I was working for a massage. I mean, I was working for the house. It was a house out in the hood. It looked like a dollhouse. It was a really pretty house, but it was just a bunch of hoes living in there. And we would get a date. There was this guy named Jazzy. He was a pimp, but he wasn't trying to pimp on us. He was working with the madam. They were like together or something. And he would take us on dates and shit and bring us back. He was our driver. So what was I getting to? So one night I went my first out call. Okay, I went with this girl named Peaches, and it was a rich white man, and he had this little black sifter thing, and he was like, y'all clean this out. And I had never done, I didn't know. I mean, I knew what cocaine was, but I never done it like that. And we
Right.
cleaned it out. I mean, I don't know how much it was, but I was high all night and I loved it. So long story short, I had robbed a pimp. I robbed the pimp named Jazzy that I'm talking about after I quit working for the service. Me and this girl robbed this pimp, and we took off, and we fucking had $1,000 or whatever it was. We bought 500. We was 14 years old. I had
Right.
$500 worth of makeup. Went about five, and then I was like, let's get some cocaine. So we were trying to. We didn't know where to get no cocaine. We was kids. So we've seen these two guys at the damn bus stop. We was like, can you get us some powder? We got $500. They come back with some crack, and they were like, we couldn't find no powder, but this is better. So we got a hotel room at the La Quinta Inn and smoked $500 worth of crack, and it was a lot of crack. Like to me, it was
Yeah.
for like a whole day. We stayed off of a can. So little did I know what a waste that was at the time, but we smoked crack off a can for a whole day. Somebody like kind of OD'd. We had to put her in the bathtub, and like her heart was like gonna blow up. It was crazy. So that happened. That's how I got introduced to it. And when the first time I ever smoked crack, I was hooked. I loved it because I'm a high energy person. Clearly, in general, I know people
Me
think, damn,
too.
it's using drugs anyway, but that's just my personality. I have ADHD. I think I do anyway. I've been diagnosed with bipolar, manic depressive, post traumatic stress, and ADD. So I don't take meds for it. I don't go to therapy. I have, but I haven't done any of that since I've been sober. So I was an upper person. I never really drank. I never was a pothead. I never liked pills until I got pregnant with my last little girl. I'll get to that.
Okay.
But that is how I started doing cocaine. And then my daddy was coming into the massage parlor smoking crack with me, not going home to my mama. My mama was snorting powder. I mean, it was just whatever. My mama never smoked crack, but she did powder. Um, so then, I mean, I was head first in the game. Now, I had known my baby's father, obviously, because of the relationship before I had got kidnapped. So in the meantime, in between time, I was still, I had two kids by the time I was 18. I got pregnant with my second daughter 2 weeks after my first daughter. So I
Uh-huh.
have a 21-year-old, two 21-year-olds for 1 month. They're the same age 1 month their whole life.
Oh
So
wow, they're back to back. Bam, bam.
yeah, they had the same due dates, but I had one in May instead of June. But so needless to say, I was already prostitute and I hated pimps. And what ended up happening was the Memphis pimps came down here. I was 19. They came down here and took our city over. They took over Murfreesboro Road, which was the track.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to talk shit to them. I hated them. I mean, I was smoking crack. I was doing everything. I was doing everything alone. I hated them. I was like, why are you giving your money to that motherfucker? I couldn't stand it. I didn't understand it.
Right.
Then one day I was looking for some dope and I was walking down the street, middle street, and there was this guy, and whatever. He ended up being a dope man, and I ended up being with him for almost 8 years, and I had a baby by him. She's 10 now. So in that midst of that happening, I was completely drugged through the mud and almost killed every day of my life. I lived, eat, breathed, slept fear. He was a gorilla pimp. He was about them hands. He the first time he ever told me he loved me, I'd only known him 3 weeks. We were in Miami, Florida, and how I got to Miami is we bought a bunch of crack on Christmas Eve, and we had a map. This is before phones and shit. And we
Yeah.
opened the map, and he said, "Bitch, close your eyes and point." And I closed my eyes and I pointed, and when I opened my eyes, it was on Miami, Florida. He said, "That's where we going." We had a whole bunch of crack, and I was down. We got to Miami. 3 weeks later, he was like, he had seen this square bitch, and I was pissed off about it because I'm like, bitch ain't getting no money. And he's like, tie her up with this telephone cord and this duct tape. This bitch finna start working. And I was like, I'm not fucking doing that. Like, he was like, bitch, yes, you are. And I was like, no, the fuck, I'm not. And so he got me butt naked, put me in a shower, punched me dead in my face, broke my nose, just blood everywhere. And I'm like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? He said, bitch, because I love you. So that's what I was introduced to love because I didn't know love. I had no idea what love was. Nobody ever said that they loved me like that. And so I, in some kind of strange way, was addicted to that. I was addicted to that kind of love. I thought I loved him.
Right.
So that started the chain reaction of abuse. And I'm not talking about backhands, like smacks, tap. I'm talking about full fucking fledged beating. I was the bottom bitch, which means I was the top bitch. I trained the girls. I, put them down on the track. I ran them bitches off too, because I love my pimp. He would always be like, "A bitch, you want me to be your boyfriend?" Yeah, well, yeah. Like I don't know any other thing. You know what I'm saying? And so if a bitch ran off, I got my ass kicked. If a bitch didn't come back with all the money, I got my ass kicked. So I got all the bullshit. Um, but I literally, I mean, I've been beat up. I was telling this story on live. I got the dog shit beat out of me one time. He kicked me. I was in the fetal position so hard in my leg that I had a bruise in my bone. It was this big around for over a year. I never thought it was going to go away. It was a fucking fat ass bruise. And sometimes when I think about it, I can still feel it. My jaw, they found me face down on Pompano Beach, Florida. Jaw broke off my face. I was there for 3 days. All this was out. All this was messed up. Um, all this was gone. He's done knocked all my teeth out on one side. My jaw. Oh, one time, Christmas Eve, we got stuck in Nashville, and my mom, we were like in a rinky-dink Roach Motel. I was a couple blocks from my mama. I had walked to go get Christmas dinner. We was hungry. I was gone 20 minutes too long. I had two plates in my hand. I knocked on the door with my foot. He opened the door and punched me square in the side of my head, which made me hit the door frame, blowed my whole eardrum out. I still can't hear. That's why I'm loud. I try to tell people on live all the time, I'm loud because I can't hear. Like I can't
Right.
help it. I talk funny because of it. I don't have good balance because of my hearing. All that shit is connected.
Yep.
So, you know, the girls used to say when we would hit the track, they would say, "Ain't you scared? How are you not scared?" And I say, "I ain't scared of the tricks. I'm scared to go home." I was scared to go home. And I was a good bitch. I really was. I was in pocket. I brought all the money back. I didn't do no funny shit. I didn't reckless eyeball. I never knew what any other pimp looked like until after I was out of the game. Like I knew all their shoes. Like I would have to eat, or no, I would have to walk down the track if a pimp, because other pimps try to pimp at you. Like pimps
Uh-huh.
used to pay my pimp for me. And I would have to run with my hands in my ears because you can't listen to the pimp. It was crazy. Like it's crazy ass rules. Like I would have to eat with my head down in my hand like this. I would have to eat in the bathroom so I wouldn't reckless eyeball type shit. Um, what else? Oh, I would have to have my head in between my legs when I was in the car. If another pimp was in the car, it would hurt too. Like it might be a whole hour I'd be in the car and I couldn't breathe or nothing. He would give a fuck. He would just, bitch, you better not put your head up. And if I like lifted my head to breathe, he'll just knock me out. Um, so yeah, I went through extreme mental, physical abuse every day. So, what ended up happening, I had my two girls who I wasn't, he kidnapped me many times too. I literally have been kidnapped so many times. Like he would come and trick me. I was laying out in my mama's front yard one time tanning after I left his bitch ass, and he just heard a Cadillac pull up, and they just swooped me up. I was in my bathing suit, threw me in the back seat. I was gone for another 6 months. I
Yeah.
promised my kids I was coming home one night. I was at my mama's. We was all asleep on the floor. He came and was like, "Bitch, if you don't open the door, I'm gonna kill everybody." And I was convinced he was gonna kill everybody, like I was.
Yeah.
So he tricked me, told me to get him something to drink. And when I told him, I was like, "Please just let me stay the night with my babies. Like, please don't let me ride at them again." Because they was babies. Like they still to this day tell me, like, "Mama, I remember you saying you was coming and you didn't come." Like, that's crazy to me that they have those memories, and they don't know a lot of my story. So my oldest daughter is still bitter as fuck with me to this day. Um, so he told me to get him a drink. I got to the door, he was at the car. I got to the car to give him the drink, threw me in the back seat. I didn't see my kids for almost a year. I didn't get to explain to them what happened. They just said, "Mama's gone again." You know what I'm saying? It was very
Yeah.
traumatizing for my oldest kids. I did not get to raise them. I got a second chance with my 13-year-old and my 10-year-old. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I understand, girl. I
So I'm
understand.
thankful for that. I'm so thankful that I got a second chance. But sometimes I feel like it's so unfair to my girls because, like, well, damn, why she didn't raise us, you know? Because they don't know. They don't understand. Because when I was 21, they not on my level. Like, when I was 21, I was 40. You know what I'm saying? They're
Right.
good girls too. Like, they had a good daddy. I did that right. They have a great dad. But, like, it just sucks, you know, because you can't make up for this shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But so yeah, I forgot what I was saying.
You were
But
talking
yeah,
about how you didn't get a chance to raise your 20 year olds, but you got to raise your
yeah,
13-year-old.
and it's like crazy because like even now they know I'm clean. Like I played clean a lot before, you know, like oh I come home and tell their my baby's father like I'm clean, I'm clean, I'm clean. He'd give me a chance to see them while they were still young, and then I'd fuck up and I go back to
Yeah.
dirty again. And you know, it's just a vicious cycle. And what's so crazy is when I did really end up leaving him, he never let me see my kids again. Now my kids are old enough to come see me, but they don't really fuck with me. You know what I'm saying? And I had to let them go. I had to come to the conclusion that there's nothing I can do. They will never live with me. He had custody. What only thing I can do is just better myself and let them see a better me. And then
Right.
if they choose to come see me, they will. You know what I'm saying? And now my 20-year-old, that's my baby. Like that's my twin. That's my heart. She understands. She don't judge me. My oldest daughter is a lot like her daddy, and she is very judgmental. And she's got her shit together. She got her shit together. So I ain't even mad at her. But
That's good though. She'll come around. She'll want to at least have a
everybody
real
says
when she
that,
gets
but
older. You know, when she gets older, she'll want to at least be able to talk to you and stuff. You know what I mean? Because
yeah,
I know now that I'm older, like I have such a good relationship with my mom, and I didn't really know how important it was until I got older, like I am now. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
And so, and you know what? You're exactly right. You just have to keep staying sober and showing them through your actions because you know how it is. Like you said, you would show up and say you were clean and then you'd go back out and it's just back and forth, you know?
yeah, for sure. And
How
you
did
know,
you get away from that guy, dude? How did you get away from him?
um, okay, so um we ended up getting okay. So I worked in California. I was all over the map, right? I was
Yeah.
highly recruited in California. So here's how I would operate. I would have I was one of the first 30 girls on the Craigslist and on Backpage before anybody knew what that was. I would put an ad up on Craigslist. I would be on the chat line, walking down the track. I was getting it, like, and I wasn't a thief. I was an original flatbacker. I was going to give you what you paid for. I'm not going to take your money, and I had a lot of regulars because of that. I was very blessed
Yeah.
in the game because of that. So, we went to California, and California, you could burn the whole city. I mean, it was so big. You work in an area for 2 weeks, and you go to another area, and you could just keep getting money. Well, we got stuck in Santa Barbara. I don't know if anybody knows how little Santa Barbara is. It's very small. We get out to Santa Barbara. It's hot as fuck out there. Hot like police. Um, I got ads up. I done burnt the city up. I've been there 2 weeks. I can't get no more money. Our car is broke down.
Uh huh.
He ain't doing the right thing with the damn money. You know what I'm saying? He bullshit trying to buy fucking diamond earrings and shit. So that's all he wanted to do was all about his appearance. I mean, yeah, me too. I wanted to look nice, but damn, you know what I'm saying? Looking back on it, it was so stupid.
Right.
And so, long story short, the day everything changed, the day everything happened, he was starting to square up, as I call it. He was starting to love me the way I always wanted him to love me. It was really too late though, because we were stuck. We didn't have no other bitches. He was all up underneath me, you know, trying to be fucking nice and shit. Because he beat me up and then kissed my ass. That was the best part about getting beat up, because I get all that ass kissing for a whole week because he would feel bad or whatever. He just didn't want me
Right.
to call the police, which I never did call the police. So I put an ad up the day I wasn't feeling good. I said, I think I'm pregnant. I've always been safe. I never had no scares. If I'm pregnant, it's definitely by him because I'm very safe. That's how come I made a lot of money, because it was one of the main things. I had a lot of rules, and I was one of them kind of girls. So he was like, I'm gonna take you to get this test, and I can't wait for you to tell me I am not the father. You know, talking shit. Drop me off at
Yeah.
the room. I go there, I take the test. I'm fucking pregnant. I'm like, oh my fucking God. So I call him and he's like, nah, bitch, we not doing this. This ain't gonna work. So he said, when I get there, we're gonna call and make an abortion in LA for 2 weeks. Bitch, we gotta get up out of here in 2 weeks. We finna kill the baby. So I'm like, okay, of course I'm mad as fuck about it. I'm pissed, but I can't, you know what I'm saying? I can't let it show. So he comes, we call, we make the abortion. Um, we set the abortion up, we call on the phone or whatever. And I was furious. And I'm gonna tell you, like, I've always been in and out with what I believe in God and Jesus and all that. I mean, even though I prayed to God, I don't know that I really believed in God because I didn't have
Right.
anybody. Pimps, hoes, and tricks. That's all I had. That's all I knew. So I just was like throwing these empty ass fucking please God, if there's a God, like please, I don't want to do this. Like I never ever considered killing a child. It's never been my thing. Like I've never had an abortion. I never had no scares like that. Like I through all the bullshit I've been through, I did really good. Like I had my 2 kids by the same guy. Everything was good.
Yeah.
Now I did leave him. I forgot a part. I did leave him, and I had a son while he was in prison by this guy because I mean, hell, I hadn't had no affection in so long. I was fun girling. I did
Right.
have a baby. I forgot to mention that, my son. But he was taking care of my son when he got out of prison. He was taking my son on the track and with all the other pimps, and it was crazy. So, long story short, I put an ad up. It was hot. I told you it was hot as a firecracker. So sometimes when I would get lazy and I didn't want to do no dates, I'd be like, "It's the police." Like because I always knew who the police was. That's why the pimps wanted me. I just had a sixth sense for it. Um, Somebody called. We needed the money, and I was like, "It's the police." It was like 9 o'clock at night. He was like, "Nah, bitch, you just being lazy, motherfucker. When next person calls you, you're finna do the date. I don't give a fuck." I knew it was the police. I know the police when they call. So he said he was gonna go out to the car and get a lighter. We lived in a little hotel, right behind the jail. Because Santa Barbara is very small. And he never come back in for like 10 minutes. I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? So I walk outside and he's out there with the police. I'm like, oh fuck. And they're like, Rebecca Rose. And I'm like, no, my name is April. Like, and they're like, you're not, this ain't you. And they got a picture of me naked. You know what I'm saying? From the ad. I'm like, yes, that's me. I'm Sexy Becky. Okay, what's up? So they're like, we got your ad, we called, we don't know what you're doing. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm playing dumb. They take him off, and I'm like, I'm telling the officer, like, I'm like trying to beat it. I've never told him. I ain't never talked to police like this. Nothing. It just, I didn't plan it or nothing. It just happened organically. So I took the police to the side and I was like, he's been pimping me. I'm pregnant. He wants me to kill my baby. I'm scared for my life. I want to go home to my mama. Like, I played the whole dance on just stress because I was, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just never had to pull that card. So I pulled it. So they tried to beat shit. They was asking him for his money. They took all the money out of his pocket and they end up giving me all the credit cards, all his money, and put him in the back seat. And he's looking at me like, bitch, you sent me to jail. Like my heart was just, I was so sad because I never did that before. Like I did not, he was going to kill me. I was like, he's going to fuck. I told him, I was like, if I don't leave, if you don't give me his money, I have to leave before he gets out of, he's going to kill me, So
Right.
I saw him pull off. I seen the look in his eye. I seen the, heartbreak and the, oh my gosh, she stuck me to jail. So I frantically, mind you, I just found out I was pregnant that day. Frantically pour all the shit out of our bags. I had so many clothes, purses, shoes, jewelry, so much shit that I had to leave behind. They were 100-pound bags, like literally tall as me. Filled. I had 8 of them. It cost $1,600 to get on the plane. I had to leave like 3 of them. I couldn't afford it. I fucking cried my way out of like $600 worth and all this shit. Get on the plane, drive the broken car that don't even work to the airport. By the grace of God, it made it. And while I'm in the airport, he's calling me from the jail phone, and I am fucking spooked. I just know he's behind me because
Right.
when you're battered like that, like you are, I know you talk about drugs a lot and about meth a lot and how the paranoia and the psychosis that you really
That's what it's
believe
like when you get your ass beat because you're expecting to get your ass beat at any
it.
second. Yeah.
It's the same thing. It is the same kind of paranoia, yo, for real. So I'm frantic. And there's so many people in the airport. I mean, I thought somebody was just gonna run up and kill me. Like, so I changed my number right then and there. Didn't talk to him or nothing. Get on the plane, come back. He calls. I did talk to him. Long story short, I had my baby. I did drugs with my baby. Thank goodness that they did not test at the time for that, or I would not have had my last little girl. And she is absolutely amazing. She's 10 years old. He's only seen her twice. I was this close to going back to him. They kept trying to get me to come to California and testify. I was paranoid. I was like, no, y'all motherfuckers gonna try to lock me up, because I made a lot of money down there, all kinds of ways. And so I went to go testify. He only did 2 years. He came out homeless, living on Skid Row. I was talking to him every night. He was going to the fucking mission and eating. I always say this: it's all fun and games till a pimp loses his hoe, because motherfuckers cannot feed themselves. They are worthless pieces of shit without a beat. So, but I was he was charismatic. He was finessing me back into the game. You know what I'm saying? And I was this close. So my daughter was 4 months old when I met my now husband. And what Dirty used to tell me all the time, he used to say, nobody's gonna want you. You ugly. You a prostitute. Ain't nobody gonna want your dirty ass. And I believe that. And Nicole, Nicole is the whole reason y'all even see my face on live, because I am so fucking insecure. I am the most insecure person. I really, really am. And, I talked to her and she was like, go live, tell your story. And really, she's the only reason I'm even out here doing what I'm doing, recovering out loud, because I would not have done that. I would not have been motivated, watching her videos and just being inspired, but by the way she recovers out, because people don't recover out loud like her. She is and changed.
You're gonna make me cry.
No, really, because I be telling people at work, man, it's a gal on here, man. She gives no fucks. Like, I love that shit. Like that. And you're not for everybody, and neither am I.
Right.
We are for who we're for. You know what I'm saying? And that's just it. And if you don't like me, it's fine. I'm not for you. Keep it moving. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's the thing. It's okay if you don't like me, but I don't understand when people have to stop and make it a point to let me know how they don't like me. You know what I mean? I don't do that. I just keep going.
But the old saying goes, if you ain't they ain't hating if you ain't popping, girl. So don't worry about it. There's not many people that can dig deep the way you do and pull these stories. Like I was telling you the other day, bitch, I can't even remember half my stories. How the hell do you remember this shit? I cannot remember.
But April, you've been through a lot. You have, when I'm hearing you and you're telling me that man had you brainwashed.
Yes, I was brainwashed. I say that all the time.
And the fact that you are away from him, never go back. Don't even answer the phone if he calls you ever again. It makes me so scared, because that's what they do. And they are good at that. That's how they live, is by manipulating women and getting them to feel so shitty about themselves that they will never go anywhere else.
Yep. That's it. Let me tell you this. So the beauty of all of it, I was drilled and brainwashed every day to believe nobody was going to love me. Nobody was going to accept me. And I've always been a bold, big personality. When I met my husband was a drug dealer. He is not now. My daughter was 4 months and my son was 3 years old. And I started getting high again. I was getting high when I had met my husband. And, my husband had pills. And let me tell you how I started on pills. I was pregnant with Don. And I had a toothache. I got bad teeth. I did a lot of dope. My mama got bad teeth, generational, all that. And so I had toothache. Doctor prescribed me Lortabs with the red specks. I never liked pills. I wouldn't even fucking touch pills. And I took them, and baby, I started cleaning the ceilings and the shit fucking behind the ceilings. And I was like, oh, I like this. And I was pregnant as hell at my mama's house, stuck, fucking wanting to get back out there and work, because what you don't realize is when you're a prostitute, it's an addiction. The money, when they're doing what they're doing, all I'm doing is counting my money in my head, the next trick. And I would have them back to back to back. I made a lot of money. So that's
Yeah.
all I did was count my money. That's it. And I was so numb. And bless my husband, because when he met me, I laid it on his ass. And I was on them pills too. So I was like, blah, 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 and I'm already like that. So I was just like,
Yeah.
I'm a prostitute. I get my money. If y'all don't like it, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he was like,
Right.
damn. Like, he was like, okay, wait a minute. All right. So he never judged me. And he finessed me out of the game because I did still work when me and my husband came in as partners. He was getting money. I was getting money. I was not wanting a relationship. He knew everything about me. I laid it on the line. My husband and his ex, me and her were best friends while he was in prison before I had even met him. So I kind of knew who I was dealing with a little bit. And he kind of knew a little bit who he was dealing with. So that was good. It was like we were really destined to be together. No shit. And so we just say, okay, whatever you make, I'll match it. So we were just getting money. And we started, every day together. I was buying pills. I was coming up with a reason to see him. And then we was together every day. Well, I had adjacent rooms. I was trying to put ads up in Nashville. I was hot as a firecracker in Nashville. Everybody knew me. But I was trying to get back in the game. I was trying to do massages only with that, happy ending and shit. So that's how and I was getting it. I was getting money for a good year. My husband was not liking it though. Like he was like, we were kind of getting feelings for each other. And he was like, I don't like this. I don't like this. And I respected him enough. Finally, I respected somebody enough because that man looked through me when I told him my story. Anytime I talked to him, he looked through me. Like I knew he was listening. Nobody had ever listened to me before, ever. So that was something different, something I didn't expect. So he got mad one day. He was like, fuck you. Don't come back. Don't come back over here. And I'm like, oh my God. I mean, I left the trick in the car and everything with his money. I was like, oh, take me back over here. Like I just completely stopped. So looking back on it, like he really finessed me out the game, and I've been retired for 9 years. And but he also showed me love. He asked me our first week together. He said, do you want somebody that's gonna love you and not tell you? I mean, not show you, or tell you that they love you and not show you? Or you want somebody that's going to show you and not tell you? And of course, I'm like, show me and not tell me, no,
Mm-hmm.
what the motherfucker want to hear. And he has done nothing but been the most encouraging, inspiring, uplifting person I ever met. And so Dirty was wrong. Somebody did love me and really loved me. Like I could have gotten with anybody in this whole world, but I got with the most amazing creature. Like he is a different breed. And I don't know if the universe said, here, sister, you got the short end. Like, here you go. Because I'm very, very blessed to be with him. And for him to even I'm fucking crazy. Like, I really believed when I got sober that my life was going to be great. Like everything was going to be good. And I was going to just, no. My relationship has been more strained since I've been sober than I could ever imagine. Because now I don't mask these feelings. I don't pass out on Xanaxes. I have to deal with them. And he
Mm-hmm.
has to deal with them. And it's hard, man. It's so hard on my relationship. Like, it's really hard. So how I ended up getting sober, um, I had been sneaking and geeking, and I had a knee replacement. I almost died. I had a PICC line. Had 6 revision surgeries in 3 months. I've always had problems with my knee. I had it fixed, and they didn't fix it. They almost killed me. And I was already on pills. I was head first on all of it. I was trading my Percocets for fucking Xanax, and.
Yeah.
And so for me, it was like if I took Percocet or Suboxone, I would take Suboxone if I didn't have a Percocet. Then because I get high on the Suboxone, I personally did get high on Suboxone. I would have to take a Xanax to come down. Then
Right.
it made me want to smoke crack or do cocaine. And it was just like boom, 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 all day long. So, my husband never said, are you doing drugs? He kind of was passive, even though sometimes I wish he was a little more aggressive. But I kind of appreciate him not being aggressive because I did come from that aggressive background. And I
Yeah.
think it was a perfect balance. But I respected him enough. One day he told me my father-in-law had got out of treatment. I was like, where did he go? And he's like, Buffalo Valley. So yeah, it was just like no second thought, no sit down think about it. I said, I'm going to rehab because I was already out of work. I lost my house, my cars, my business. I had a teeth whitening kiosk at Opry Mills Mall. nice cars, a big ass house, and I had already lost it. I moved out of my mama's when I was 12, moved back in at 37. And I could not get ahead. I could not get ahead because I was on dope.
Yep.
Said, I'm finna call them. I walked outside. I called them. They did intake. I said I had quit a job. And they was like, well, you can come today. I said, no, I need to get my check first, which I had just quit the job. I didn't get my check for 2 weeks. And they was like, no, we don't think that's a good idea. You're probably not going to come. I said, baby, I'm coming. This is my choice. Like, I wanted to get clean. I'll be there. And I did. Mind you, I took 10 Xanax bars that day. I bought like fucking 40 buffalo wings, walked into treatment, don't remember shit. Don't even remember saying bye to my kids. And they were like, you can't bring that in here. Throw that away. I'm like, what?
I did the same thing on Xanax in treatment.
They were like, look, and then like on the second day, they was like, you don't remember talking to me? And I was like, who are you? She was like, I did your intake. Girl, you look different. I was like, oh my God, it's so embarrassing when you hear them stories. Like, they used to record me, my husband. I would have suckers stuck on my face because I like to get a bunch of junk food if I knew I was doing Xanax, because I love munchies. And
I know it gives me the munchies too.
Girl, bad too. And I got fat on them motherfuckers and everything. But so yeah, I went to treatment, and the crazy thing is, I was really going for Suboxone. I could not get off of Suboxone. It was Suboxone. It's like methadone.
It lasts in your system a long time. It stays in your system for 37 hours.
It's not even that. It's months. Like,
oh yeah.
Suboxone did my body a lot of damage. I can tell the damage Suboxone has done to my body. Y'all know I don't say a word. I don't never comment. See, that's how you're supposed to be. When you hear something, you might got some opinion on, just shut the fuck up. If you know, sometimes you just gotta shut the fuck up, because what worked for you may not work for that person. It may not be their story. That's why I don't jump in, but I don't knock nobody. Because I know for me, Suboxone got me high. It got me high as fuck. And for somebody who don't need Suboxone, it's going to get them high.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the thing is, they overprescribe Suboxone. You can take a microscopic piece of Suboxone and be straight. You do not need a whole strip, in my opinion. You do not need a whole strip. You do not. That's too much. Because your body,
the lower you are on it, the better. Yeah, it is very strong. Buprenorphine is strong. But I think what happens to people is when they're coming off opiates, it's a lot of psychological. Like, I need to have this, I need to have more because it'll make me feel better. Because I know when I started, I was taking 12 milligrams, and it was just, I didn't need 12 milligrams. You know what I mean? Like, but now I realize that. And I think it takes everybody a little bit of a time to realize that. Tell me this, how did you get yourself Suboxone? Did you go to the doctor to get it?
I had at first. My husband went to prison for 2 years, and I was buying it from this lady. First time I ever did it, I got clean off of pills with one Suboxone strip for like for a month. I used one Suboxone strip in 7 days and got clean off of pills. But of course, you know, I wasn't serious about my recovery, and I relapsed. But off the street, that shit was expensive. And then the Suboxone clinic cut me off, and that's how I knew. Okay, I was taking 3 strips a day when I was going to the Suboxone clinic. I was opening kiosks all over America. I wrote a pitch for the company. I went all over America training people. I was a VIP salesperson in teeth whitening. And I opened a kiosk in Baltimore, Maryland, and I had took all these strips, and I was, you know, you piece them out at first. I was piecing them out just like pills.
Right.
And I got up to 3 a day. And then one day when I got through opening the kiosk, I was going to pick my script up. And they was like, no, you told us the wrong insurance. We weren't supposed to give these to you. You owe us $700. And some guy had already given me $500 because he was going to buy half of them. That was my little, and I just had to end up taking his money. I had to take his money because I was like, what? And I didn't know where to get them. Let me tell you something. I laid in the bed for 7 days and thought I was going to die. I shriveled up into a skeleton. It attacks your stomach. It is
They didn't give you anything to help you taper off of them?
This was 2013. Hell no.
That's a bad thing. Like, it's really sad because, like, at the clinic that I go to, if something happened with my insurance, they would put me on a taper and taper me down.
They didn't do tapers then. Not that I'm aware of. They didn't. I don't think this was early in the 2000s, 2013 rather. We didn't even know. Like, I don't think people even knew. I mean, I know there's people that was on Suboxone for a few years prior,
Yeah.
But it really wasn't, we didn't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they knew better. But yes, girl, I went cold turkey. It smacked me dead on the face. My daughter saved my life. I remember I was on day 7 without eating. And it was my oldest kids. They had come back and they got to stay with me. I had a bomb ass little condo and shit. My husband had just got locked up. My babies was babies. And I was so happy I had my girls back. And then all this happened. And I had to confess up. I had to say, look, y'all, please don't tell your dad, but I'm sick as fuck. And
Yeah.
I was withering away, yo. Like I hadn't eaten nothing in 7 days, and my daughter made me dinner. And I was like, I was crawling down the steps. That's how on the verge of just hunger I was. And I was just like, no energy. And she fed me on the top of a step. I was butt naked in a blanket, and she fucking fed
Oh.
me steak, fucking peas. I don't even eat peas, but I was so hungry I didn't give a fuck. And
Yeah.
it literally gave me enough energy to get my mind back together. And I still had the severe cold sweats and shit, but I got a job. And then when I got to the job, everybody had pills and shit. So I just, boom, it was right back at it. So, that's how that happened. But as far as treatment, so they treated me for Suboxone with Suboxone. Like, what the
What?
fuck? Yes, girl. So when you go to detox, it's
Uh-huh.
medically assisted detox. So they waited 24 hours. They, do your drug screen or whatever. Plus, I was fucked up. They had to wait 24 hours. The first day they gave me 8 milligrams Suboxone strip. I wasn't even taking that on the street because I was doing Suboxone and pills because I
Right.
could take Roxy after doing a Suboxone and feel it. I could. I know a lot of people said they could, but I could. So the whole strip had me fucked up because when you mix sub and Xanax, you're gonna nod. It's like a heroin nod. So I was
Uh-huh.
fucked up the second day. The next day they gave me 4 milligrams. The next day it's a step down, 2, and then 1, and then nothing. It's a
Uh-huh.
4-day step down. Girl, they sent my ass to Hohenwald, Tennessee on the day. I had to stay 24 hours without, doing anything. That was Saturday, September 26th.
Uh-huh.
And of course, like I know if you've been on Suboxone, you don't feel, it's not like pills. You don't come off of Suboxone the first day and feel sick. It takes a few days.
No. It's a
It takes,
couple days in.
yeah. So I was cool at first, and then day 3, I wanted to die. I wanted to die. I was like, just fucking kill me. I can't do this. Like I got a poem about it. It's called 28 Days. I wanted to die. So, rehab was really tough for me, and it was even more tough knowing that I was there on my own recognizance and I could leave whenever I wanted. That was challenging because a lot out of 63 girls, it was only 3 of us that was chose to be there. The rest of them were court ordered, whatever the fuck. Mama made me come. They're
Yeah.
gonna take the kids type shit. So it was hard laying in that bed, so sick and so disgusted with yourself. And no, I could be like, fuck y'all, I'm ready to go. But I didn't. I chose life. I spoke life over myself. And I remember the first day I went and met my counselor, which you're not even supposed to do the first 3 days. Who? I'm a rebel. I come right up in her door. I was like, I need to be on type meds. The girls already told me what to go say, like so I could get on type meds. I'm in there saying all the shit. She said, I ain't buying it. I'm like, bitch, you got me fucked up. What's it? I'm ready to go. She was like, you can leave, but you're not getting none of your stuff. You'll have to drive back down here 3 hours and come back and get your stuff. She put it to me. I was like, this isn't fair. Like, I'm crazy. Like, don't you see I'm crazy? She's like, you're not like these girls. You're not like that. I'm not buying it. She said, here's what you're going to go do. I was all excited. She said, go to your room and meditate. Girl, I wanted to fight her. I wanted to fight that lady. I wanted to choke her. I mean, I was sick. Talking about
Yeah.
meditate, bitch. I'm not, man, fuck you, meditate. But I did. I was that desperate. I went back to my room. I tucked my tail. I went in my room and I meditated for the first time in my life. And it changed my life. Meditation is really the key because you take your brain out of the scrambled, screwed up place that it is and you put it somewhere else. And you have to breathe and you have to control. And I have high anxiety. I don't sit down. I don't stop. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it was humbling. And I remember that was on a Saturday. So she wasn't even supposed to be there that day. When she come back that Monday, she was looking for me. And she said, well, I said, I just gotta thank you. Like that was amazing. Like I couldn't believe like how much I was sick. Now, mind you, they made us go. That's why I say this was treatment, because there was a schedule every fucking hour
Yeah.
from 4 in the morning to motherfucking 10. Your ass got to go to school. You got to write shit down. You got to do this. You got to do that. You got to go to class. So at first, them first 2 weeks, I was mad about that. But then I started like really getting into it, and she was really proud of me. She was like, "You're different." She was like, "You are taking this so serious." She said, "If you make it a year, and you will," she said, "I want you to come back and speak." And it humbled me. I was like, "What?" And like when I was in detox, the girls kept going, "This is what you need to do. You need to do this for a living, girl. You got it. You got it." Like they used to hype me up, and I'd be like, "Look, bitch, do you got some drugs?" Like I did not give a fuck about none of that. So thinking back on it, like it took me a couple weeks to even share. Everybody wanted me to share, like in the circle, and I was not, I was like that the whole time.
Yeah.
When we shared, like everybody was like all ears, and they're like, "Girl, you need to share. You're like, I'm telling you, you're gonna be somebody." So like they manifested that shit on me, and I'm really grateful that I did it. And like, I'm not even gonna lie, like I don't do a 12-step program. I thought, look, I was totally like 12-step. I'm going to motherfucking 90 meetings in 90 days. I was like, but that's not my story at all.
That's
um,
okay. A lot of people I think feel like they have to because that's the only way that's ever been taught to anybody. But
yeah,
there's different programs now, which there's so many different programs that you can do, or it just
thank you, JoJo.
we've been only shown that one way for so long. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Who
yeah.
is that?
And,
I just highlighted her comment. Sorry about that. But anyway,
no,
you
thank you for
do you know her, Jolie?
yes,
There's a
I
whole
do.
Sarah's in here. A bunch of people from TikTok are in here right now. There's been
Nice.
like 55, 60 people in here the whole time.
Okay, I hope I didn't disappoint.
And Mark has been dropping your YouTube link, so you'll have some new subscribers over on your YouTube channel.
I need new content. I guess I'm gonna put this on there, right? Is this being
Yeah,
recorded?
you can do that. I'll send you the link, and I think you have to put it like in a playlist, but you can put it on there.
Okay. Yeah,
I'll
y'all,
teach you how to do
we're
it.
making new content. So thank y'all for the support. I really didn't know what to expect. Like, telling my story for the first time was very, yeah, I planned my whole day. Like, I was like, I need to get an outfit. I did a fucking PowerPoint that I didn't even look at one time. Like, so there was some stuff that I put in this one that I didn't get to put in that one that I thought was valuable. And there's still stuff that I guess every time, you just kind of figure it out. But like, I'm just grateful recovering addict, y'all. I just want y'all to know how important, if you've never told your story, how important it is. And so, just so for the people who don't know, my peeps know, some of my APTV peeps know. When I told my story on New Year's, I don't sleep good. My mama's insomniac. I sleep 2 or 3, maybe 4 hours a day. I run on that. I'm just really high strung like that. I slept from 2 o'clock in the morning till 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I slept 10 hours after I told my story, and I slept like a fucking baby. But here's the flip side. Yesterday, I had a dream that I relapsed, and it made me sick. I got physically sick yesterday. Some of y'all know I was physically sick. I left work early. I had a horrible ick over me, and in my dream I didn't physically like use. I don't know what I relapsed on. I just know that the act of relapsing, because I reached out to Tara B Magic's wife in my dream, and she was fucking with me. She was like, "Nah, we don't fuck with you no more. You relapsed." And she changed her number. She told B Magic not to fuck with me. And in my dream, I was scrambling to find a phone book to find their new number. And so I just wanted to tell y'all on the flip side, like I had that solid sleep, but there was a flip side. I had like some fucking kind of icky demon on me as well. So telling your story is important. I think what it is that for me, like I got that out. Like getting it out is important. We can only keep what we have by giving it away, but we also have to realize how dangerous it can be too. Because everybody know I'm a believer in manifestation. I don't do shit the traditional way. I don't knock nobody for what they believe. But I don't believe traditional. I don't do shit traditional. And my beliefs, I believe in universal things. I believe in manifestation. I believe I have the power to manifest anything, good, bad, ugly, sad. And I just feel like telling my story manifested something really icky
It
in
might have
something
brought
good.
up
You know,
old
it's a good and
feelings.
evil battle.
And you know what I'm saying? Like PTSD and old feelings and insecurities and memories from the past. I know when I share certain stories, I might dream about it at night.
Really? Oh
So
yeah,
I
girl, you be
totally
going
get it.
hard too. You be going hard. I be like, damn, like I girl, you be going hard. But I love that about you because, like I told you, I love people who really live their handles, their names, like real talk recovery. You live your handle completely. You are that. And I
Yeah.
love that about people don't realize how I am addictive personality. Like, and the TV part is because I had a YouTube channel, obviously, and it rhymes. So APTV. But
I'm so
because the whole
excited for you.
idea,
You need to make more videos on YouTube. I'm
I
telling
know,
you, like
I know, I'm going to.
you
Like,
have such a good personality, like for YouTube. You would have so much fun. It's fun, but it's TikTok is really fun too, though.
it's a commitment.
You know, it
It's
is.
a
It's a
commitment,
commitment.
girl. Yeah, and I got a job and I'm just now started getting comfortable with going live, but I am gonna please y'all, please go subscribe to me. I promise you, I got you. I got content coming. And you can look at my old content and see like where I was kind of going. I had like episodes, and that was the whole idea. It still is. Episode this, episode that. I've got a Flows of the Soul episode, for addicts by addicts, poetry for addicts by addicts.
That's
Um,
so cool.
yeah, I've got a poem. Like I'm fixing. I just posted a poem, two poems that I wrote in treatment. And let me tell y'all, please write your thoughts down. When you're having a bad day, write that shit down. Tell yourself, self, like literally. Like I have stuff right here in front of me that says, "Tell yourself, self." Like that's what's written on the paper. Self, you are this, you are that. Because like on my live, I make people dig deep and say something positive about themselves every day. Because do you know how hard that is? How hard that was for me to go around in a room of 60 girls I did not fucking know. You know what I'm saying? We're all angry. We're all recovering. We got our own issues. And then say something positive about myself. I don't
Yeah.
have nothing positive to say because I'm so mad at myself at that point. So I thought that was genius. All that, everything they taught me in treatment, hated it the first 2 weeks. But the last 2 weeks, I just was like, you motherfuckers got it. Y'all know what the fuck y'all doing. And I
You need
appreciated
to do
it.
that
And I
a lot
respect it.
too, because that guy, you were beat down from the time you were coming out of your mom until just a year ago. You listen, or when you met your husband, you need to like know that you are beautiful, that you are worthy, that you are smart, that you deserve sobriety, that you deserve to have a man who loves you and never puts his hands on you. That you need to also your family wasn't dysfunctional. You were abused. There's not dysfunction doesn't even it's not even the way to describe it, girl. You were born into abuse.
Yeah.
Like you did not deserve to be that's you should have been taken out of that home right away and placed with a loving family who would have taken care of you and did all those things. You were abused from the day you came into that home. You didn't have a chance. So it doesn't surprise me at all that you went with the pimp and all that stuff
Right.
because he was showing you love is what you thought it was because you
Yep.
didn't know anyway. You'd never been
Right.
taught to be loved, you know? And now you get to show your daughter what love is really is and your little boy what love really is.
Well, that's something I struggle with. Because in my head, like I know I got to be careful what I say because I'm not trying to manifest anything, but like I struggle every day with I don't believe that I'm that great of a mom. Like, yeah, I'm here. I've gotten myself clean, but as far as like I yell at my kids. I think I'm just so strict on them because I don't want them to think it's cool. You're not gonna talk to me any kind of way because I talk to my mama any kind of fucking way. We fought. My mama was a fist fighter. We fought tooth
Mm.
and nail. I used to tell her I hated her and I wish she would die. You're not gonna do me like that. I'm hell no. So I feel like it's just something subconscious in me when it comes to my kids. Like I don't hug them enough. I do tell them I love them. It was weird at first to tell my kids I love them. It's always been weird for me, because it's just something weird. If my mama would told me she loved me, it's weird. It's strange. So I
Yeah.
struggle with that. I need you to know, like, I struggle with being a good mom. Like, I mean, yeah, I feed them, I do basics, but like, I'm not that like, oh, let's go on vacation and do all these fun activities type shit. That's not me. It's
You
hard, man.
provide for them, and listen to me, the more you love yourself and the more that you process through what you've been through, you will start being able to show them more love. And that's what you have to keep working on. You have got to talk about the things that you went through. Like, you have to understand this. Like, I cannot tell you enough that nothing you were doing was your fault, and it was absolutely abuse, molestation, taking advantage of you, trafficking you. I mean, you are a victim.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
not anything that you chose for your life.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, for
Yeah,
real, girl, like nothing. You did not choose that life. You know, that
yeah.
was
And it pisses me off too, because sometimes I'm like, fuck, man. I mean, I dropped out of school in 8th grade. I got kicked out of school finally. I had my van driver was one of my damn tricks. I mean, he would like pick me up. I was like 14 when I did go to school the last 6 weeks. Like, pull over, spend money with me type shit. It was very traumatizing. Like, I didn't really, but it just makes me mad because I'm like, I try never to be a victim. I'm always a victor. You know what I'm saying? I'm victorious, but like, it's like, damn, man. Like, I look at my son, he's 13. It ain't nowhere in hell he can make it. He always, I'm gonna run away and I'm gonna be fine. Where the fuck you gonna go? Like, I could not make it on the streets one night. And for me
right.
being that young and out there really surviving, really getting it, you know what I'm saying? It blows my fucking mind. Like, how the fuck, who would even let me do that?
This is what I think. I think, who didn't see your little young ass and save you and rescue you? Because
Nobody
you
did.
know,
They took
men
advantage
that
of
were,
me.
you
Every
know,
man that ever met me took advantage of me. Every
right.
man.
That's what I think about. I think about, why didn't people save you? You know what I mean? Like, why?
No, I worked hard to
Because
save.
people are sick.
I don't want to
Because
be
this
saved.
world is sick. You know. But anyway, I don't want to make you feel bad or anything. I just don't want you to ever think that, like, you're a bad person because that stuff happened to you. Like, you didn't deserve any of that. You know, it didn't matter that you were doing it for your job. That's all. It's because that's all you knew. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't even think that you chose that. Like, I think that you're so used to saying, like, I was making money, I was getting it. But really, like, girl, you were surviving. That's the only way you knew how to survive.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
I'm telling you, there's so many women who have went through what you have went through, that you're going to be able to help each other by sharing your stories and relating to each other. And you need to, like, get involved with a place in your town that helps women who have been trafficked.
That's what
Like,
I
I'm
said.
serious.
That's what I've always wanted to do. I said I want to work, help recovering addicts and prostitutes, because what people don't realize, like, yeah, you retire, but if it wasn't for my husband to be there when I fell, when I had withdrawals, like I went through